Good afternoon. Oh yeah, hey, easy.
Hey, David.
David.
David Moore, Dallas Morning News. You're talking last week, one of your points of emphasis was kind of cleaning up the route running and working on that, and you talked again about getting off this merry-go-round of 9, 10, 11 play drives and not scoring. Is that still a point of emphasis this week, cleaning up the route running instead going into this game with New York?
Well, I mean, we're emphasizing it, but it's been more classroom and video, and just because of the nature of playing the Thursday game. So I mean, we've had our opportunity to do the self-scout, the preliminary component of the yesterday's meeting, but today's really, we're kind of on a Thursday type schedule, just to make sure that we have everything situational in. So we'll do some individual route running after the work today, just to make sure we get the tempo and the timing down on the any type of wrinkle that we're going to use Thursday night.
Mike Todd, Archer with ESPN. What have you made of your team's response the last couple of days? I know it's a quick turnaround and quick. You have to forget that game and move on. What do you make your team?
I think they clearly responded the way they're supposed to. I thought they're very accountable. I think they, if anything, to a fault, openly honest with the externals on what happened. But no, they've been very focused. We had a full day yesterday. We had to put in first, second, third down. So we were able to get that done. I let them sleep in this morning. We actually needed some time as a coaching staff, just to get the game plans tight and get ready for them. So they came in at 9 today, and then it was in the weight room. We started at 11. So, yeah, no, the work's been good. Everybody plays in these Thursday games. You're always trying to tweak the schedule, but most importantly, we got to go in this thing with a full game plan. So, and we accomplished that these last 2 days.
John Machado with The Athletic. When you talk about the shortened week, just from your perspective, your experience on that short week, preparation-wise, what's the biggest part that maybe hurts you guys that you don't get a chance to do that you would normally get in a full week?
I think that the mental part of it is pretty normal. The meeting time, you still get the same meeting time. It's the full speed. It's the full speed action. It's the rhythm. And I'm just a big proponent, particularly with younger teams, younger players. The importance of the padded practice, I think that's vital. That Thursday practice, just the fundamental part of it. So, yeah, just the physical work is where the drop-off is.
And then do you have any update on Carson or Marquise Bell?
Getting better. Both going to be game time. So, Carson's closer than Bell.
Nick
Harris, 4-Star Telegram. What's the challenge of this Giants defensive front? Lawrence, Burns, Thibodeau, what do those guys bring?
Well, I think it's definitely very diverse. They got 2 excellent edge pieces. In the way they're playing them, they're a little bit unpredictable as far as what they're doing on the edges. And Lawrence is just a dominant player inside. So I was really impressed, particularly the Cleveland game. They really turned up the pressure in that game, and obviously the sack numbers and the hits speak for themselves.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. CeeDee Lamb's issues early on, is that more about what they're doing against him, or just not being around as much in the summer?
I think it's just it's part of the way these games and some season goes. CeeDee's a primary focal point. For us game planning, it'll be a primary focal point for the defense. So, and that's why you play the game. So we'll continue to do what we have done with him. And but yeah, I mean, there's always little things you're looking to build on. Certain routes and so forth, and more in his case will be just which slot is he doing it from? Because he plays all 4 spots as I would refer to it from the receiver position. He plays the 1, 2, and 3. He can also come out of the backfield. So we just got to continue to move him around, and he'll get his opportunities.
Saad.
Saudis with The Athletic. Mike, in the running game for the running backs and offensive line, do you feel like there's more chemistry that needs to be developed there between new backs, a couple of new pieces on the offensive line, just in terms of what they're seeing?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is not ideal for when you're looking at this format for particular statistics, and just like anything, we've played 3 games. I don't know. We have 3 quarters of 2-minute offense. I mean, so there's different things that factor in that. The number one focal point for me is our run game needs more attempts. We need to get more attempts, and we need to get in and out of concepts And I think that in itself will help us.
Joe.
Joe Hoyt, All City Dallas, kind of building off that question, how important is synchronicity in the running game from an offensive line standpoint and kind of building that chemistry?
Yeah, it's very important. It's very important, and that's really going to my point, getting in and out of concepts. I think the biggest thing is you got to play through your strengths, and right now the strength needs to be the continuity of the 5 guys. That's why, when you go back and look at some of the decisions we made in training camp of trying to get to us, who are the first 5 guys going to be, I always felt that was a big decision that I always tried to make sooner and later in camp, because especially in today's training camp environment, because those reps they're vital. Those guys need the opportunity to play together. And history will tell you time and time again that the teams whose offensive line has consecutive starts equates to wins, and it always starts up front.
Hey, Mike, Patrick Walker, Dallas, to Cowboys.com. Kalen Carson dealing with the shoulder, obviously. Deron Bland is taking some steps, it looks, in his rehab without giving a definitive timeline. How close is he? Where is he in the process? I know you can not activate, but you can make him eligible to return to practice next week. Is that in the plan?
Yeah, I know the Pittsburgh game was always, kind of a point that, we felt like we'd have more information. So, once we get past, this mini bye week, I think, I'm hoping things will rev up there.
Got it.
Skyler Dixon with the AP. Quirky stat of the week. This is the first time the Cowboys have played on 3 days rest on the road. So surely off the top of your head, you remember how many times you did that in Green Bay?
I do not.
It's tough. It's always a tough turnaround for Thursday. Does that make it even tougher? Does it matter that much?
I think it's like anything. I mean, if you first time you go through it, you have a different feeling. But I mean, it's it's something that you do, twice a year here. I mean, you're going to play 2 Thursday games, so it's just part of the deal. It's just part of playing it, for the Dallas Cowboys, and I just think it's just I guess I'm used to it. Yeah.
Okay.
Babe Lofberg, 105.3 FM. You talked about the Thursday games and getting used to it. You've had enough of them now. And you talked about the fact that obviously you didn't have a lot of time to make corrections. How do you, in your position, balance wanting to fix everything that happened execution-wise, in the game Sunday, whichever game it would be, and looking ahead and getting the game plan ready and getting you guys ready to play for Thursday?
Time management, lack of sleep. I think that's the way you get it done. I mean, I think just can't speak on everybody in our staff, but I'm sure I was just like, everybody went home and watched the games. I went home and watched our game. Watched the offense, defense, and special teams. And so when I came in here Monday morning, I had rooms that I need to visit and make sure we're on the same page, because the worst thing you can do on a Thursday game, regardless of what happens, especially when you don't win, that Sunday, is spend a ton of time on that game. And I've done it. But Monday's critical. I mean, Monday you have to get the first, second, and third down in. I mean, that's the way I've always done it. Some people only put first and second down in on a Wednesday. So Monday's a Wednesday, Tuesday's a Thursday, and Wednesday's a Saturday. It's kind of how we do it. So you have to hit those targets, because not only in preparation for this game, but we are still trying to build some regularity to our training process. It's critical. We use the word process. How you train, how you schedule, how you get in and out of that. That continuity is all part of the connection that we need to be better at. I mean, we have some new players here that, some older veterans, and we got some young guys. So our continuity and connection needs to be higher. So part of that goes through the way you train, how you schedule, and so forth. So you have to turn that page. I mean, Marty Schottenheimer used to talk about the midnight rule. He used to use it all the time, but that Sunday's game is a perfect example. Monday's it. I mean, Baltimore was finished for us at midnight. Now I didn't technically follow that, because like I said, I came in Monday morning. There was a number of discussions that needed to be had, and then we just kind of build in the self-guide into the introduction of the game plan for the Giants.
Aaron.
Aaron Kazan's Lone Star Lab. We haven't gotten a chance to see in game some of the reserve defensive backs, so if Carson is unable to go, what has stood out to you about some of those backups there?
Well, I mean, they're all doing a good job. I think the biggest thing is if you look at you look at the preseason, is special teams. That's where this really final decision is going to come down to how we move forward with decisions if those guys don't go.
Jane.
One of the issues for the defense this year has been some of the missed tackles, 241 yards. Devin Singletary particularly good at forcing some of those missed tackles. Is it realistic to think that you guys can clean some of that up on a short week? And when you look at the tape, is it effort? Is it technique? What's standing out to you? What's been consistent there?
Well, I think like anything in fundamentals, it's like a bank account, and that's why training camp is so important. The padded work is so important because that's where you're able to really work the footwork, to get into the, not maybe live action, but as live as possible, as close to the fire as possible. So there's an investment that's made each and every day. We have a first period that we do after stretch every time we practice is team fundamentals. So it's in line with your question. So I'm definitely counting on our bank account.
Garrett Podell, CBS Sports. Mike, you've coached a lot of young, exciting receivers. What stands out about Malik Neighbors you'll see on Thursday?
Well, I'll tell you, I think anytime you see a young man come in the league and just the way they're his targets, and his ability to go get the football. Obviously, he has the size and the speed and the body control. But I do think he's a very exciting player when the ball's in the air. So that's what has stood out to me.
Todd.
Mike, Zeke only had 15 snaps last week. Is that just the way the game went, or is that
Totally,
just what he's?
Yeah, just product of the game. Like I said, we were behind. We were talking about no huddle in 2 minutes in the middle of the third quarter. So I think the last two games, anything that we didn't do that didn't fit your playtime expectations on offense is really due to the kind of games we've been in.
How do you think he's done, even in the limited play time that he's had?
Yeah, I think he's been solid. He hasn't been given a lot of looks, so it's hard to be critical of anybody when he does. He's not having opportunities with the ball in his hand.
Cal.
I know you've been pretty busy, but I don't know if you know, but Favre today said he was diagnosed with Parkinson's. I don't know if you were able to talk to him about it or just your reaction to that.
Yeah, definitely. When I heard the news this morning, I reached out. So just a tremendous man. Obviously, I think it touches all of us. And obviously, Brett has he's worked with a lot of people in this building. So it was that our hearts, our prayers, our thoughts go out to him and his family.
David.
Mike, I think the first 3 weeks you have 270 snaps for your rookies on offense and defense, which leads the league. Is that something that hurts you in some ways now, but you can see where it's going to benefit you as the season goes along? And is that an unusually high number even for you who is willing to play rookies?
I don't pay attention to it no more. I've been down this road a few times. So, yeah, I just, there's a long game, process to this. But at the end of the day, we got to make sure that we're giving all of our guys, especially our young players, the things that they need to be successful and win the game Thursday night. So, that's our short game, our primary focus. But yes, this will serve us well. I've always taken an approach that, everything we do from a schedule and training standpoint, whether it's how we install the offense or defense, how we train, going all the way back to the spring, it's always catered to the rookies because, the veterans are going to get theirs, and then the reality is, the older guys get, you rest them a little bit in the physical part of it, whether at training camp, and it's twofold because it helps them because it keeps them sharp mentally, keeps them emotionally engaged. But you got to always find ways to get your young guys reps because my experience has been those are the guys that are playing in January and December and November when those games really count. We're just you can kind of look at it. We're getting a little head start.
Alrighty, thanks
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you.